Hello, everyone. How are you doing? I'm gonna try this again. Anyway, one of the first things I covered in this was early Mercuries, 16s, the 17, 17D, 17S, the 1918, D and S. These are not real hard to find. Now, when you talk about the 1916 Mercury, the 1916D is a key date one. It made about 260,000 of them. They are very rare and they're very hard to come by. And when you do, even worn ones like this are going to probably run you at least $700 or $800, which is a lot to pay for a dime, you know. But they are, and one that's like AU or better, it's going to be tough. Now, in this box of dimes, I looked. We have Barber dimes all the way up to 1916. Now, I'll put this back down real quick. 1916 Barber dimes. This is not a bad. Uh, this is not a bad conditioned um, Barber dime. It's worn, but they made them along with Mercury dimes later in the year, which might have been slightly confusing. But anyway, in my dimes box, which we'll show again real quick, this is a 14-inch double wide box of dimes. It is absolutely loaded with dimes. There's starts with the 1892 Barber, but in this there are no old mint dimes, and they ended in 1909, the last year. Now we'll show that I did get recently a couple more Barber dimes, including a 1912. We'll show the date, which has a nice, pleasing toning to it. And I also got a 1903, which is neat. And we'll show the mint mark. And there it is. But these dimes in this box, most of them are generally somewhat circulated. Now, of the ones that aren't, you get back into some of these Roosevelt dimes that are uncirculated, like this 1961. It's nice, but there ain't a whole lot of love for the Roosevelt dimes. Usually, my coin dealer has a bag of loose ones that are 10 or 15 cents cheaper than the Mercuries are. So there was no old mint dimes in the box, but I did happen to get one recently, which is this one. So we'll go ahead and set this box aside. And grab the quarters and $50 box, which, again, this particular box is a red box. It's double wide, and it's a 14-inch double wide box all the way out to the end. Now in this is quarters and $50, and I did have at least one Barber quarter in it. That's an old mint. And there's the old mint. So this is one that was in the box. I've had this box loaded this way for a while, but none of the rest of these in here are old mint, at least the quarters. Now when you get to the half dollars. Back here, you go back, and there is exactly one Barber half dollar in this, and it's a 1907 S. Do have a few of the modern silver ones. This is a state one. Oftentimes, these will be about the same price as a regular quarter if someone has them individually for sale. And this will have an S on it. If I get it to turn the right way, you won't see the copper because there is no copper on it. Generally, if you got copper quarters, what's up? If you have copper quarters, copper nickel ones, they'll have copper rings on them. It's a sandwich. Not so with this one. Everybody, shout out to this guy's channel. Anybody that watches this, go check out his channel and like and subscribe if you like his content. And I'm sure you'll like some of it, if not most of it, especially if you like silver. Now we put this one back where it was and talk about a different silver proof. And it's not the state quarter ones. This is also 90% silver. And it's got a cameo style or deep cameo. You know, it's a quarter S mint, and they made them for several years, and I have quite a few of them in here, about 10, including the 92S, which was the first year I had, well, the oldest one of these I had. Look at that price, $350. So silver wasn't very high when I bought that one. Put the 98S. I actually have a couple of them. That's interesting. And remind people that if you run across the bicentennial quarter, some of them are silver. I have a couple different ones. This is 40% silver. There's an S mint. It's a bicentennial, and it has a different look than your copper nickel ones. And there's a 40% one that says it's not approved because it's not cameo. Well, that's not really cameo either. This is kind of a duller look. Good mint luster though. And then I have another. Well, that's the 92 I just showed. I thought I had more of these. Actually, it's the 50-cent piece one. So we'll put these back in here. And we'll go back to the 50-cent piece towards the back and pull out a couple examples to show. Well, where did they go? We're in here. Here they are. 1970S, it's proof. They made about 3 million of them. This is 40% silver, and the mint mark on these is where the normal one is. It's an S. But, you know, about 3 million, just under 3 million. I have 2 examples here, and I have more of them. A few more. I have a 70D, which is only about 2 million. It's even more expensive than this one is. 40% silver, and if you go and get coin rolls, you could find some of these in it. Maybe not the proof ones. Now, if you go back and look at this, this is a clad proof. And then this is a 40% silver one. This one says it's a proof. And this one just says 40% brilliant uncirculated. These are not bad looking bicentennials. So there are 40% examples of these. And some of them are made and not, not a proof, so they're not as shiny. But they're still interesting coins. And actually, I got a couple more in here. And another, some of the 90% halves that are proof. These generally aren't priced any higher than what a 64 one would be. That's an estimate. And I have about 5 or 6 of these in here, and they're all reasonable prices. I mean, the price of silver goes up and down a lot. Now, this one is a clad proof. Doesn't quite look like the actual silver ones. So we'll put it back in its slot. And then we'll pull these last couple up I didn't show. This is another bicentennial 40% one. You kind of get the look at how the mint luster on it is. It's a nice coin. This one's just a plain 40%, not very shiny. For some reason, this one's much shinier. I don't think I would call it a proof, but I've got about 5, 6 of these bicentennial ones in this box that are 40% silver. And they're kind of cool. Now, moving on. We'll get this box out of the way and show off a couple more things. I got these. Some more recent stuff. We'll move 17 and 18 Mercury dimes out of the way for now. And I will pull up this paper. Last thing I added to this was a Barber dime. So that needs to go to 90.35. And then we'll talk about going to the jeweler jeweler guy who has some silver coins and what he hooked me up with Friday. These aren't in very good shape, obviously. They're worn out quite a bit. But you can read a date on that one. It's 1906. That one looks like it's gold plated, which is, it's 1912. And this one, the date's beat up so bad, I can't tell you what year it is. But I got these. I'll set them right down there. Got another Standing Liberty quarter with the date worn off, which I have quite a few that I've gotten from him, including a couple Type 1 ones that don't have the date. But the most interesting thing that he had in his little pile of silver was this. It's got a hole in it. It's been plugged. It's an 1876. So I got another Seated Liberty quarter to put in my treasure chest. So there's 80 cents face of new stuff that's going into the treasure chest challenge. 12 bucks for 80 cents face value. Oh, that's 15x. And I'm here to tell you, I'm going to buy silver that cheap when I can get it. And there's our new total. $91.15 in my treasure chest challenge. And I'm going to have to put all the coins in the treasure chest again. Now, I didn't set out the other stack that I usually set out here with the dollars, the other dollars and stuff. Thank you. Now, here's a 26D. This is a bit lower mintage one. You can read the mintage right there. 1,716,000. That's about the same as the 37S, which is a slight key date for the Washingtons. I don't know how well this is going to show the D, but it's a D. It's clearly still there. And it's a nice, a little bit nicer looking than what these often are, because these just got worn. This is pre-depression, and once the depression hit, they just kept circulating these and barber coins. There wasn't much in the way of coin collecting back then. Got a 57 proof here, nice and shiny. We'll look it over. It's a nice coin, not too bad. The other proof I got was just a clad one, 73S at $4. It's a bit more than I really probably should have paid for it, but it might be a little bit tougher here to get one of these in. Now, other thing I got recently, British £1 coin. It's probably now a demonetized coin, but you can see the 3 lines there and there, the Scottish line there, and then the harp for Ireland. It's a £1 coin. It's very thick, but it's not very big. We'll just hold up a quarter to it. It's not as big across as a quarter. Now, this is a non-silver Balboa. It's a 73. It's still got a pretty bold design to it. This one's pretty well uncirculated. I like the design on these Balboas quite a bit, enough to buy one that isn't even silver. As you see, it's a 73. I quite like the design on these. Now, let's pull out a couple other things I bought recently. We'll make some room for this. Move these coins here out of the way. Settle this down right on the table and give everybody another look at it. Now, this has a sailing ship design on it. It's just incense bottle. You put incense sticks in it and burn them. This only cost me $2. Now, spin this around and see that it's got a big eagle on the back, and a shield, which I quite like this bottle. For $2, I'm like, and the sailing ship itself is a 3-master. I got to move these a little bit so maybe I can settle it down like this, and you can kind of see it. You see the ship. I'm going to raise this up slightly. You can see the masts on it. It's a neat piece. And for $2, I'm like, I'm going to buy that. Why not? Now, we'll set this down. This is also a pretty neat piece. It's what they call a coin glass. It has a torch. We'll hold this up this way. It's got a torch, and then you rotate it to an eagle, and it has a date on it and stuff. It's kind of neat. I don't know how well you'll be able to read that. This was a bit more than the other thing I just showed, the bottle. This was $12, and but it's a nice looking piece. We'll give another look. And I don't buy glass a whole lot, because when you buy glass, if you don't keep it stored well, it can be broken pretty easy. And online, this particular piece, I saw it listed on eBay. I could probably relist this and sell it on eBay and maybe get 20, 25 bucks for it, in that range, because most everybody that was selling them like this wanted that much money. I'm not planning on selling it, though. I think it's neat. I'm going to keep it for a while until I get bored with it, if I get bored with it. Now, let's move on to the next. Put these back. Churchill will set the peace dollar token thing there. Let's see if it's all on the screen the way I want it. Yeah, that's okay. Now, since we're talking old mint, we'll have to show this. Yeah. Well, that might be a repop, as they call them. I don't know if that's an original one from the Depression era or not. I'm going to have to study up on it a little bit and see what the difference is. So if it's not a Depression era one, it's not, it might be overpriced. Or, up until the 50s or so when they changed it. But when we're talking about Morgan dollars, this one's a very frosty. I have to show it off whenever I talk about the old mint. And I've shown it off in a lot of my videos, actually, including individual videos just about it alone, or where it's just sitting on the table with the other stuff. It's an old mint. I saw another one today that was about as good as this, except it had a scratch under the eye. Other than that, the eye appeal was really good, and it didn't have the toning problems this one has. And it's not really a toning problem. It's a problem with someone decided to try to clean the toning off. And you can see that looks like a J shape, and there's some mark there. Put this guy. Hello, Team Clambake, ECOA. How you doing? This is a rather nice looking Morgan dollar, but can't be graded because these cleaning issues would prevent it from grading. And but I've looked at PC, GS, and NGC images of 1898 graded Morgans. 1898 O, that is. 61s to 62s usually have a ton more chatter than this one does. I've seen some at 63 or 64. They look like they're crackle faces. It's got all kinds of lines on it. Now, that just tells me this one didn't travel much. Probably got made, thrown in a bag, and put in a vault somewhere, and that was it. Some people don't like tarnish. And the problem is, it's not the tarnish, it's the fact someone cleaned on it. If I can get this to pull back up. See that between the U and R? It looks like a J. So that is not gradable because you send it to NGC or PCGS. What the best this could probably get would be uncirculated details cleaned, which is a shame because this looks as good as some 65 or better ones. I'm not really sure how this would grade if it wasn't cleaned, and I don't know if you can dip it and get rid of that. By the way, I did see a 1986 ASE at the coin dealer today that had a big splotch of toning on it across the flag part and stuff. It actually looked nice. It was only $29. The guy was buying it, and he said he'll probably dip it. And I'm like, thinking, I don't know if I'd want to dip it. But anyway, this particular one, like I said, it's a nice example of an old mint Morgan. It's one of the best looking Morgan dollars I have in my entire collection in terms of the amount of chatter and scratches on it. It just can't be graded. Well, I mean, maybe I don't know, maybe that GSA Carson City one I got, it might even look better than it because it does have some chatter, and not just a little bit. All right, let's move on a little bit. We'll put this up there. Now you can see right here I got this stuff. Now today was an eventful little day at the coin shop. Coin dealer said last week that he got a whole bunch of stuff, interesting stuff, and he was going to bring it in next week. So I went prepared because I knew he had some good stuff coming. Well, I'll show you some stuff I got. This one is a bit worn. It's a Seated Liberty dime, 1876. It says 1 dime on the back. By the way, this reef on these is the same as the reef on these. Now, this does have some toning on it, and some people might not like that. But in terms of what details is left on this 1913, and someone said fine. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it looks like the entire Liberty is on there and readable, and it is. I don't know if I don't think you'll be able to see it. I can't see it through this way, but if I look at it closer now, same reef design, 1 dime. A lot of detail left on this coin. It's one of the better barber dimes I've been able to get lately, except for some people might not like the toning. But $4.50 I didn't think was a very bad price for a nice looking barber dime, considering most of the ones that are worn cost at least $3 or 3.25 even. Now, I bought one of these 1900, and it was an old mint one. Recently, a little bit more beat up than this one. This one's not too bad. The rim's going way on the back a little bit. It's a Philadelphia, but at $5.75, that's about as cheap as anybody's selling these for. Now, what we're going to go ahead and show here is when you have the round stapler and you don't want that scratching any other coins, take a pair of pliers and you flatten out the staples. Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I don't like staples tearing up my coins. So I flatten them all out. We've dug up a few, but same worn. Okay. What, something like this, you mean? Or do you mean a barber dime? And do you mean like metal detecting? Now, this AG stacker's gonna like. 19060. This is good plus. This one's got good detail left on it for these. Most of these have been worn out so much that those little pegs, you can't hardly see them. So that's probably why they wrote good plus GP. Or maybe it's supposed to be 4. Now, we look at the back. Old mint, and this might be the best looking old mint $50 barber I had. It was $20 though, and that did give me a little pause because $20 isn't a real cheap coin, but it does look really nice. I'm going to make a video short for this. Oh, look at that, the round staples. I wish my dealer would get a flat stapler. Okay, we'll show you the next thing I got. This is kind of neat. It is a bit worn. It's probably coal at best. And it's an 1873 with arrows. It's $14, but it's a seated Liberty $50. This one's a bit, in my opinion, bit expensive to put in my treasure chest for a treasure chest challenge coin. But it's pretty nice just to be able to get one even. You know, they don't come in his shop often, and when they do, you need to get them when you can. All right, you're going to like this one too, AG Stacker. Now, it does have a hole. You know, but this is an 1856 pre-Civil War old mint. And there it is, the old mint. I'm going to be making a video. It's got some deep scratches too. But overall, the fact that this one, the little teeth on this rim are mostly there, which, I don't know, someone wrote 45 on it, but maybe if it didn't have that hole in it, and that hole is plugged, which, this makes it a problem coin to resell to anybody and expect to get much money. But I bought it for $12. I gotta go back because I missed a couple comments. You talking about this one? Yeah, the date on this one is pretty clear. Or are you talking about this one? This one's not worn very much. Matter of fact, part of Liberty. And that's the shame with this, because this, you look at the back, if this coin didn't have the hole drilled and plugged, and it didn't have that scratch probably, you're talking about this coin could possibly be a $45 coin. I haven't looked up the prices for 1856, but this one is cheap enough, just barely, that this is going to go into my treasure chest challenge. Now, I'm not just going to throw it in the thing and jumble it up a bunch of times. I'm going to keep it in the pile with the Morgans and the other ones. But that makes a Seated Liberty dime and another Seated Liberty quarter, because that one that I got from the jeweler guy, that's going in there. I have one that's totally slicked out. That's even no date. You can't even see the date. But it does have the ribbon like this one does. So that ribbon means it's after 1866. Yeah, this one is probably, if it wasn't for the hole, being that most of Liberty is readable, you can see it even through this. The IB and the E, the E's almost gone. The I and B is pretty well gone. R, only the top really shows. The TY and the L are pretty strong. So this would probably be about fine grade without that. And that's unfortunate. But this one's probably coming out of this holder and going to go in my treasure chest challenge. I haven't totally decided that yet. But almost as soon as I walked in, the guy knows I'm filling this treasure chest right here. We'll show it again. That treasure chest with the map on it, he knows I've been filling that up for a while now. Now, I told him last time I talked about it, I had over $90 space in it. He threw this bag at me. There's $1.70 in it, including a reasonably nice looking, that's not worn very much, Benjamin Franklin. It's a 63 Philly. Then there is, I can get the slide out from the other coin. Come on. I don't want to take it out of the bag yet, but it's going to come out. It's a 43 Walker. And the 43, it's a Philadelphia as well. Not a hell of a lot of damage to it. Now, there's a quarter, a 1940 Washington, and it is a Philadelphia. And then there's a 42 Washington, which is slipped it. Oh, it's a D. I think that's a D. No, it's an S mint. Sorry, 42S, which I think the 42S is a little bit lower mintage than they often are now. The other stuff in here is a couple dimes, a couple Roosevelt ones. That one is a 52, and that one is a 64. 52 is an S mint. The 64 doesn't have any mint marks. Let's go to, okay, it's a $1.70 face, and he charged $33.15. Usually when he does that, he kind of calculates how much X it is, but it's not that hard to do, really. Try to get my calculator out. 33.15 divided by 1.7. If I did the 19.5, I guess that's 19.5x. I've been buying up to 20x for this. So 19.5x, I don't think is terribly out of line. It's about as cheap as I've been able to find silver almost anywhere, except this guy who does a lot more business in jewels. He found these and he sold them for 15x, which that's a pretty good buy in my opinion. Although these are really bad shape, especially these Barber dimes. That one, I mean, you look at that Barber dime. Part of the date's on there, very small. I can just see the top. I'll pull this up, and it looks like a 1904 or 6 maybe. It's hard to tell. This one's a 1906 Philadelphia. It's not as bad. The rim is going away, so it'd make it about good. Let's see if it'll, yeah, 1906. But the one that's got the gold plating on it looks bent. Might not be, but it looks bent to me. It's a 1912, and that is not an Olmet because they weren't making coins, so it's a Denver. But that's what I got today. Now I need to add that $1.70 to my face value. Actually, it's going to be $2.20 because that one's going in there too. Oh, come on. There's our total. This is the total amount of face value silver that's in my treasure chest challenge. 93.35. Now we'll pull out the big coins. And a couple of oddities. We'll move Churchill and this aside, set the pot. Now, what I plan on doing with this one is it's going to stay in this stack. And in this stack, this seated Liberty dime, I'd like to get another one that ain't this bad. All the date's totally gone. The front has an outline of the seated Liberty. The back is a slick chip. The quarter, the date's gone. But it does have the ribbon on the back and what looks like part of an S Mint mark. By the way, I got this one right here and a dime for $5 from the jeweler guy. I'm not complaining. Now, there's a couple Barber halves in this, including this one, which I know A.G. Stacker, if he's still out there, it's an Olmet. It's worn quite a bit, though. This is a 1905S with tremendous gouges. Not sure what happened. It's on the back too, but not in the same spot. I mean, when you flip this around, it misses that one by a lot, so I don't know how this got in there. This is an S Mint, 1905S. The most worn out JFK coin I have ever seen. I've never seen one that's had the date worn off. This one is a 64D because you can see the D is partially there still. This particular $half was $7 when I bought it. So I'm like, you know, for 14x for 90% silver, I'm going to go ahead and buy. Morgan with the hoe. Holy Morgan. New silver stacker shows up. I sent him one of these pesos like this one that had a hole in it. He'll probably laugh when he sees it, just because he had the Holy Eagle for a long time. I did manage to get an 1878 Morgan dollar with a small hole in it from the jeweler guy. And his plans was, he said I could take this. This is an estimate. So I could take this, ultrasound it, put some kind of chain or leather strap and sell it as a necklace. And he said probably get 35, maybe $40 out of it. So this is one of the most expensive coins in this chest at $30, which I probably overpaid, but I wanted one. Yeah, well, Team Clambake, I'll tell you this right now. I have got a bunch of short videos about coins, all types. I've got playlists set up that if you want to learn about seated Liberty and what a lot of them look like, I've got a playlist for seated Liberty coins. I have a playlist for standing Liberty coins. I have a playlist for all kinds, several different types, Morgan dollars, peace dollars. Oh, by the way, everybody, when I was at my coin dealer, he had a trade dollar, which is the first time since I've been going to him for years that I've seen one at his place. Now I've seen them elsewhere, and I think he wanted $210 for it, which is not a bad price. And he had an 1895 old Morgan, which was in a little bit better shape. It was better shape than the one I got looked at and was going to buy that he sold already. It's $250 though, and he had a couple pretty nice Carson City ones in a holder like this, and I believe it was over $200. It might have been $300. I don't remember. But anyway, he also had, besides trade dollar, in the 1895, he had a 1921 peace dollar that he wanted $294. It did not look like it had anywhere. It was AU at the very worst. It might be a mint state one. I don't know. But in this stack, there's a few peace dollars, and there's 4 Morgans. So in this particular thing, we have, well, there's 3 Morgans. No, there's 4 of them, and 4 peace dollars. 8, 9, 50, and then these 3, I mean, 975, 995 in this stack of face value part of this. And I can tell you about how many ounces of silver is in this entire treasure chest challenge, if anybody's around. So you got 8 times 0.7. We'll go 7 since some of them are worn pretty bad. That equals 6.16 ounces of silver in the dollar coins. Now, we clear this off, and we take 93.35. That's our face, minus $8. Come up with 85.35. Now, for silver, 90% silver, your ratio comes out to either $1.40 an ounce or 0.71 per dollar face. So if we divide this by 0.71, oh, that's wrong. It wasn't divide. I hit the wrong thing. Put that back in. We go with the 85.35 times 0.71. We'll just do that way. 60 ounces. So you add it to it, and you come up with a grand total. Hold this so you can get it to show right. Dumb computer, dumb phone, dumb stand. 66.3 ounces of silver, roughly, in this treasure chest challenge. And you divide that by 12 troy ounces per pound, 5.56 pounds of silver in this treasure chest challenge. It's a tremendous amount of silver to be, bought over the. Now we're getting towards the end of September. I started this challenge about the second week of January and had only a few coins that I had bought in January. And that was one of the stipulations for this. All stuff bought this year. No going into a tube and pulling out a bunch of quarters and other stuff. No, this was all bought this year. Anyway, I went live for a while, had fun, showed off the stuff, talked about things I wanted to talk about. And I think I'm going to go ahead and pull this down for the night. And I might live stream tomorrow. I don't know. I got to make some videos for this other stuff, though. Shorts. Probably won't do it tonight, though. I'm getting tired. But thanks for stopping by. I don't think you're still out there, and especially thanks to AG Stacker. He helped me out with the glass that I bought today. But y'all have a good night, and I will see you guys next time.